Yo, what up, my dudes? It's your girl, Nikki Cosma, and welcome to Real Talk, No Filter. Now, my voice is kind of dead, not gonna lie, because your girl has had a mad, crazy week, okay? I just got back from a girls' trip, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I met so many of my online friends, and we went so hard. When I tell you that it was one of the best, weeks and a little bit longer days of my life, oh, fuck, that shit was good. But yes, anyways, I'm here and I'm starting this podcast because I feel like after that experience, all my friends, all my bitches were like, girl, you need to start a podcast. And so, fuck it. If the people ask, they shall receive. So if you have any recommendations what you want me to yap about, feel free to chuck a comment, do whatever the podcasting shit is. I should probably look into that, eh? Well, anyway, let's get motherfucking started. So I had one of the craziest experiences. Oh my lord. I was in this trippy state, if you catch my drift, and I was there with all the girls. We were having a massive, great motherfucking time by the river. And I was like, fuck it, I want to go to the pool. And so I had to go leave the jungle because the river's in the jungle and the pool's in the villa. And I was like picking up my backpack while entirely naked. And I looked like motherfucking Dora the Explorer because my backpack is purple. And if you didn't know, Dora the Explorer was my fucking favorite show growing up. Oh my god, I motherfucking loved Dora the Explorer because she was just so motherfucking cool. And also swiping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping. I kind of had a crush on Swiper. I kind of liked how he was like a little bitch, you know. But then again, that's because I've had codependency issues in the past. I'm not surprised Swiper was on the fuck list, to be honest. Oh wow, this really is real talk, no filter. Oh, well, I don't know what y'all signing up for here. To be honest, I don't even know what I'm signing up for here. I'm just trying my best. I made this super cool, artwork, and I'm, pretty proud of it, to be honest. And I'm sure it'll change, but for now, I just messed around on Canva. It's so funny, because at first, it was, one of the really crusty little templates, and I was like, oh, I don't want to put too much effort into my template, into my little cover thing, but, at the same time, I can't put something out there that doesn't represent me, and oh my god, I just had to, get it right. So I spent 2 hours yesterday making that cover art, and look, I know it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm so proud of it. I'm like, yeah, that does the job. I feel like that would have gone in full marks in school, because in school they don't really care about how high the quality of the work is. They just care if you hit the rubric. And by high quality of the work, I just mean if you're making a poster for graphic design, it doesn't need to be what it would actually be in the real world. They're not expecting that of you as long as you just hit the rubric. And so for me, I'm content. Well, this is my thought process. I don't know. Wow, I've only been talking for 3 minutes. I feel like I've said a fucking lot. I don't know how long these episodes are going to be real with you. I've got no script. I've got nothing in my back pocket, to be real with you. I'm just vibing out. And yeah, I'll take a breath now, it seems. Oh god, I'm not gonna lie, I can't believe I just spoke for 3 minutes straight without pausing. But at the same time, I was a little bit nervous starting this recording because I was like, oh, what am I even gonna say? Oh, yeah, I was telling you guys about how I was leaving to go to the pool while naked with a backpack, and everyone was like, you need to put that on a t-shirt. We need to get Nikki with a backpack on a t-shirt walking naked up this motherfucking hill, because apparently I zoomed up, and I did because I really wanted to get to the water, because I was just feeling the trippy vibes. I was I really want to just something was just calling me to the water, right? And I wasn't wrong, because guess who was there deep inside the water? Everyone else was coming to the pool and vibing, but when I went underwater, guess who I heard? Bitch, it was my higher self. Now, I'm never usually one to hear voices in my trippy states. Usually it's just kind of trippy, vibey, have cool thoughts and whatever. But I was hearing a voice, and it wasn't a scary voice. It was a very welcoming voice, and it was my inner higher self being hey babe, how you doing? And I was like, whoa, who are you? And it was I'm your higher self. And I was like, whoa. And I had to sit there underwater, staring up into the sky. I was like, what is going on right now? What? And so every time I'd come out of the water, the voice would stop. But if I kept on going under and asking it questions, it would just keep on replying to me. And so I was like, what do I need to know from you? And it was that I am the divine goddess, and at the same time the divine disciple, and that you are the divine disciple while also being a divine goddess. You are the mother and the daughter. You are the friend and the foe, the good and the bad, everything all together. And I was like, well, what? And it was you our encapsulating source in the universe. It was like this big, like deep awakening of realizing just how much I am a part of the universe as a holofractal part of it. And by holofractal, I mean the smallest grain of sand represents our universe, because if you break down the science of that grain of sand, then you can infer the rest of the universe because of how the particles work, because of string theory, because of physics, because of all these other things. You can kind of infer the rest of the universe, but at the same time, the entirety of the universe, which is like space and the planets, they all also represent the little grain of sand, because the grain of sand is also made up of this. Do you get what I mean? So like it's like that, so that's the prefix holo, and then fractal, which is that pattern goes on forever. So like, oh my god, what was I talking about? I feel like I got lost in there. Like sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts. It feels like I'm swimming through like, I don't know, tunnels, and the tunnels are like interweaving. Anyways, back to my higher self being under the water. So she was telling me these really deep realizations, and I was just sitting there like, wow, like, so is the love, like, are you telling me that I'm like meant to love and devote myself to you like how I have been in my codependent relationships? Because oh my god, have I suffered from codependency in the past of just like anxious attachment up the wazoo, and like I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to grow from that. And so I was like, can I devote all of my love to you instead of trying to find it and seek it in someone else? And she was like, yeah, babe, like that's the whole point. Like I've been here the whole time. And it's like something you should know about me is every time I travel, I try and go, like when I was in Bali, for example, I went out and visited all these waterfalls that no one's even really heard of. Waterfalls with like 2 reviews on Google with no actual clear-cut road. I'm playing this driver and he's like, girl, are you sure there's a waterfall at the end of this? And I'm like, I think so. And we're literally bushwhacking so that I can get these private waterfalls. And then I'd sing to them. And then I'd have these trippy experiences completely sober, like without any ingestion of anything. I'd just be singing to the water and dancing and full of flow, and then I'd be able to hear this higher self. Like she's always been there. She's like, girl, I'm always here, and you're always going to be able to hear me from this moment because you're connecting so deeply with me right now. But like this whole time you've been trying to devote yourself to other people, but really who you've been really wanting to devote yourself to is yourself. And I was like, girl, now this was hitting me hard because every time I came out of the water, all my girlfriends were there like vibing and having a good time, and I was just getting whacked, you know. And earlier I was throwing up, like when we were by the river, I was throwing up because of, you know, the entire trippy like experience. Sometimes that happens, and I was just there like, oh, you know, like purging all of the shit that I was like, and it was like I've never really purged the narrative in my head, you know. Usually, and like here's the thing, I love throwing up because throwing up demands your presence like nothing else. Like believe now, like we scroll when we like are on the toilet, for example, or when we're going to pee, like, or when we're eating, we're like always distracted. Like vomiting, on the other hand, like you need to be locked the fuck in. You cannot be distracted. Like vomiting really grounds you, like it brings you to your humanity. So I actually really enjoy the process of vomiting, as long as it's not like excessive, which there was another story on this girl's trip in which there was a lot of excessive vomiting. But anyways, enough about that. I did my purge, and as I was happening, I was like throwing up my demons. And I've like heard people say that in the past, but like I've never personally experienced that on other like psychedelic experiences, you know. But then like in this experience, I was like, whoa. You know, I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. Sorry. Oh, do you guys think I should like edit any of this? I'm like looking at the timer as it's ticking by. It's like 8 minutes now, and I'm like, oh man, well, I think it's going good, you know. Quick check-in with myself. I think I'm going good. I'm really happy. This feels good. And also, I'm watching this beautiful sunset out of my window right now. I gotta extend my Airbnb. Yes, welcome to Nikki's chaotic brain of mastery. All right, well, you know, I feel like this is a good first episode. I'm trying to think where I was in the story. Oh, yes, hearing my higher self. So then as my higher self was telling me all of this, we later on were doing this thing which was like, how do I even describe it? It was like a jam, but we were all just like singing and chanting. It was like 3 people. Someone was on the drums, someone was playing the guitar. Like it was just like a jam. We're all singing and chanting, and this was going on for like 2 hours. And as it's happening, like near the very beginning of the experience, I'm getting into it. I'm feeling the music in my bones and my soul. I'm like, wow, this is feeling like really good. I'm like feeling like the divine goddess now as I'm moving, because I'm no longer in the pool. I'm like dancing with my friends underneath the shower, right? And I was like, wow, this is just literally one of the best moments of my life. I am so divine. I am literally source. I am the universe. And then I got I felt like a sting on my eyelid, and it was bad. And then I felt an ant crawl out of my eye, and then I felt all these ants crawl out of my eye. Jump scare, there wasn't actually a bunch of ants. There was just one, but it was a fire ant, and it fucking bit my eyelid. Like at the beginning of this like 2-hour like experience chant thing, which is, to be fair, the worst time to get bitten by a fire ant on your eyelid, because it meant that every time I looked anywhere or blinked, there was like a significant amount of pain, and I'm already in this like trippy state. So it's like, whoa, it's like, whoa. Why do I keep doing that? I don't think it's as funny as I'm laughing it out to be. Yeah. So I got the fire ant bite and I was like, well, what is this fire ant bite trying to teach me? Like, I asked myself, I was like, girl, what is this? And it was like, divine pain. It was just this phrase just popped, divine pain. And I was like, what? And she was like, can you hold the pain? Because there's so much of it in your eye right now, while also simultaneously holding the present moment being one of the coolest like experiences you're having with all your friends in the shala, dancing, singing, spinning with each other. It is literally like one of the best moments of your existence, and you're in a searing amount of pain. Can you hold that? Can you hold both of those things? And I was just there like, honestly, yeah, I think so. It was crazy how grounded I was, because like I'm not usually that grounded, you know, like I've had things like a paper cut ruin trips for me, you know, and so to have a fire ant sting on my eye, which was really painful, mind you, and it was like really hurting for the entire experience, I just kept on challenging myself to be present in the moment while simultaneously holding the pain. And I was realizing that this is a metaphor for my life, because once you get to know me, if you know me in real life, you know that I've been through so much grief, and it's like you can't really register it, because you would think, oh, what the fuck, Nikki, she seems so happy and bubbly, what do you mean she's like in grief? I hold so much pain, so much trauma, decades of abuse in my body. I have CPTSD. I have struggled with so many different like physiological symptoms of trauma that have been manifesting for years and years and years. And that is why I do the work that I do, because I've had to learn how to cope and strategize and systemize and like hold myself, like give myself the empathy, the kindness to get through that and come all the way out the other side. And so every day I hold grief that I'm still processing. There are some things that have happened to me that, to be honest with you, maybe will never be truly entirely processed, because they're just that disturbing. And that's not me over exaggerating. Trust me, many legal systems have agreed. And so that being said, there is so much to know in learning to love divine pain. And so this pain that I was going through, this deep, intrinsic fire ant level pain, I just took it and I danced with my friends and I laughed and I held it. And I reminded myself that if I can hold this pain now, why can't I hold my grief every day? Why can't every day where I feel that grief, can I not also be present in the moment and feeling the joy and the wholeness and the spirituality of where I am now? Can I be where my feet are, while like also recognizing that pain might still be within my body and feeling and sensed within my soul? And soon enough, like once the dancing thing was over, it was like magic. The pain just went away and I was like, wow, divine motherfucking pain. And one of the girlypops on my trip actually really benefited from hearing this. There was a couple difficult moments that I think we all had some difficult moments on one trip. Like it's 9 days, for fuck's sakes, you know? Not everything's gonna go perfectly, but yeah, it was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. I will never forget dancing and singing in that much pain in my eye. And now, like, I was getting cuts on my feet and stuff too. That type of shit would have sent me in the past, especially tripping. But now it's just like, it's a part of who I am. Well, I'm running out of things to say, and I don't want to push myself to, you know, wring words out when they're not there. So I love y'all. Thanks for listening to episode 1 of Real Talk No Filter with your host, Nikki Cosma. That's me, bitch. Thanks for coming along. I'm so keen to see y'all in the next one, and I'll always post when I have something to say. So tune in soon, and yeah, make sure you comment if you want me to talk about something, because like, I would love some inspo. All right, bye guys.